favorite true crime comedy podcast, coming right at you from Grant's house.
Coming at you live in the building.
But not really. Murder, murder.
Murder. That sounds like I have a stroke, but.
Do not adjust your sets. This is really Joseph coming at you live.
If we're blowing out your speakers, that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
If you've got that tingly feeling in your little bits, it's supposed to.
That's because today's going to be a good fucking day.
If you're feeling a little bit nauseous, like you stood up too soon in your 30s, don't go to the doctor. Doctor's just going to charge you a bunch of money for what? To tell you that you're having a good time?
If you woke up with explosive diarrhea today like I did, make sure you take that extra wipe, but understand that it's only going to be better from here.
And then don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all our socials at Trashful_USA.
Follow us in real life. Go through our garbage. Get into our toenails. You never know what you'll find at the Murder Schmurder
Stalk
Dumpster
us,
Crew.
support us, however you feel fit.
I dare you to try to steal my car.
Someone drunk tries to steal your car and has to blow it. God damn
This
it.
guy's a genius.
He thought of everything. Dude, if someone tried to steal my car, they'd be so frustrated.
It won't start. What the fuck?
No, because whenever you start Jamie's car, it goes,
I'm fairly certain no one will try and steal your car. It's in a parking lot amongst other cars that look more functional, and you just go, nope.
it starts squealing, and then they just immediately turn it off. Like, no.
Someone needs to mercy kill this Jeep.
What has he done to you?
Kill me. Like, I got the air conditioner to work now, but now it only works on, it's either off or full blast. Same thing for the heat. So if it's like kind of chilly outside, it's just like, do I want to be hot for 30 seconds or just kind of deal?
Yeah. I was like when
I guess I'll wear a scarf.
yeah, Jamie was driving me around one time, and he was just like, it's like, all right, let's kick her on. It was just like, ah, just like pure ice. And then after like 10 seconds, he's like, oh, sorry. If you get hot, just let me know. Like, I've got frost sickles in my fucking whiskers, dude. I'm good. Like, what was that?
I remember when I first got it fixed in the middle of summer, and I was like bragging to my coworkers because they knew my shit wasn't working, and I was just like, "Yeah, you can sit in my car if you want. It's spitting straight frost right now. It's frosty in there."
Oh my God! Somebody tries to steal your car. Their partner sits in the passenger seat, like, Chick-fil-A sauce. Based on a true story.
Why is there a bag of glitter in here?
Like, I like shoes, but this is ridiculous.
So, to open today's episode,
And who are you?
I am Jamie.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm Austin, if you couldn't tell.
Grant.
Joseph.
Okay. The only other short story is essentially I was at the YMCA recently in the sauna, and there's the heating element, and normally when you go into a sauna, you know how like there's like a wooden gate around it, so like you don't fall on it kind of thing. I had my shirt hanging on there, and I was just doing some bodyweight workouts near it, and this lady is trying to get my attention. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not trying to have a conversation. I'm focused right now. And then I can tell she's like starting to yell because I can hear her voice over my headphones. And I'm like, this lady is crazy. I just got to keep avoiding her.
Quick side thing. Does anyone else at the table ever try and communicate with someone with their headphones on? And if so, do you at least like wave at them visually and then wait for them to pause what they're listening to or pull them off of their head before talking to them? Because that shit happens to me all the time.
Really?
Where people just walk up and start talking to me, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You, like a normal person, give them a wave, or if you're behind them, just give them a slight tap, pull back, and then just like, hey, take them off, and then you can talk.
It's the craziest thing in the world to me.
It's insane.
Sorry, go
If
ahead.
people try to talk to me with my headphones in, I will take one out, and then I go, huh?
No, I think it's like a mortal sin to try and talk to someone with headphones on.
I agree. You're pretty clearly telling them, not right now.
I'm not trying to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not right now.
I'm in my world right
Yeah.
now. Don't mess with my world. So this lady can't get my attention, so she slaps my arm.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, like I said, I heard her yelling, so I was like, this is gonna escalate. I can already tell. I didn't think she'd slap my arm, but she slapped my arm, take the headphones off, and I just go, don't ever fucking touch me again. Don't ever lay your hands on me again. Like, and she was like, you need to take your shirt off the little barrier. And I was just like, my shirt's perfectly fine. It's not harming anybody. I'm not bothering anybody. Like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Put my headphones back in. She like mutters for like a minute to herself, and then she leaves. Management comes back. And
Sweet.
and they come into the sauna, and the lady's like, hey, I need you to move that shirt. It's a fire hazard. And I was like, it's not a fire hazard. There's no rule against me having this shirt here. And she's like, it is a fire hazard, and you need to move it now. So I moved my shirt, finished the rest of my thing. That night, I send a 3-page long email on.
Of course you do.
What do you mean? Of course I did. I'm
See,
in the right.
See, Jamie, here's the thing about you.
Go on. I'm in the right, and I'm willing to die on this.
You can die, but just fucking move the shirt. What?
Okay. She was wrong to slap your arm.
She was wrong to slap your arm.
Absolutely.
That's simple assault in the state of
simple
Tennessee.
assault, right? 2, you literally have a sticker on your laptop that reads, I think I will cause problems on purpose. And you know who got that for you was Sarah, because she knows you. So I just want everyone to be aware of that.
Look, I'm not right often, although lately I've been killing it.
Lately, Austin was right like 3 times today, and it's freaking me out.
I don't know what the hell's going on,
Like
so
a
I think I can
2,
bat
maybe
1,000 a
3 week
day.
streak here.
Okay.
Wrong of her to slap you, but when management gets involved, they're like, hey, remove the shirt. Just remove the fucking shirt.
I did remove the shirt, but there's no rules against it. I've been doing it for 10 plus years. And then they were like, it's a fire hazard. I was like, literally the temperature of the room is no greater than a commercial dryer. So there's no sense that it could be a fire hazard.
I mean, he's right.
I mean,
I was assaulted, and no one did anything. No one asked me my side of the story. And I did this all in 3 pages. So like imagine this 30-second summation is now 3 pages long. And then I emailed this to corporate and 2 program directors.
Was this single spaced?
Yes.
oh, buddy.
What did you even find 3 pages to talk about?
Point after point of like what's wrong.
She hit me. She's a bitch. There's no rule that says I can't. Yours respectfully, Jamie. What else do
This is the equivalent of the white guy, might I add, that's like, where's the sign? Where's the sign that says I can't?
That's true.
Where's the sign?
You building a killdozer back there somewhere?
Great reference, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your references are out of control.
So
Which that's a reference within a reference.
I come in the next day.
You came in the next day.
I came in the next day.
Put my shirt back on the railing.
You did not.
I came in the next day, and then I'm like, surely this did not get around just yet. It's probably going to take like a couple days for it to get back to whomever. It did not. The program director saw me walk in and immediately comes to me and it was like, hey, Jesse. I was like, no, it's Jamie. I was like, Jamie,
Strike 3.
do you mind if we talk? And I was like, I don't have a lot of time. I just got called into work early. It's like, just for a minute. It's like, again, I don't have a lot of time. It's like, just 1 second. And I'm like, okay, fine. Let's talk. So he's just like, well, we heard what happened, and I want to say I'm really sorry, but that rule is listed. And immediately I'm like, what rule? And then he's just like, the rule, like it's a fire hazard. And I was like, okay, let's go look at it right now. And he's like, what? Yeah. Let's go look at the board that you say that there's a rule.
Show me the rule.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Somebody asked me what the lottery tickets are.
We go down to the sauna, and he's like, "Oh, it's not on this board of rules." And I was like, "Well, what board could it be on?" And so he takes me to another board, and then he's like, "Well, what about this rule?" And it's like, "That's it says like, do not place any garments or anything blocking the fire sensor, which is the thermostat reader essentially."
Right.
And I was like,
Because people do that all the time to make it hotter in the room.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that is not what I did.
Right.
That is a different rule. And he just goes, well, that's just open for interpretation. And I
Oh my god! Wrong move, Bucko.
which makes me angrier. So I'm just like, incorrect. That is the fire sensor. That is the heating element. I did nothing wrong again. And if you want to make it a rule, that's perfectly fine. But I still did nothing wrong. And he goes, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay. Anything else? And he's like, no, okay. Okay, good. You have a good day.
I mean, okay. So now, with all that information, I would say that I think you're really well within your rights to hang your shirt on the fucking.
I agree.
Because you know, I've been to this YMCA. There's like a good like half a foot of space between that heater and the railing. Right. The railing's there just so somebody doesn't lean up against the heater. Yeah. Whether on purpose or by accident, you know?
Which, you know, someone else did one like back in the day. Like, I'm just gonna, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had to put the railing there.
Does that one have like the kind of like the 2-tier benches?
Yeah.
Where you can be pretty high up. I mean, not gonna lie to you, if I do like a leg day and then go sit in the sauna and I'm trying to get off of the second tier, just raw dog it, you know what I mean? Not be careful, not warm up my legs first. I've almost had the knee buckle moment.
No.
So to have that railing there to catch myself, great.
Yeah.
You know. Also, if I want to dry my shirt, I don't see any problem with that either.
I think the overlying issue, and this is something
me,
that
yeah.
no,
Okay, good.
this is something that they need to address. Is
I'm
the
just impressed with their
fucking
follow-through.
again Karen who decided to go out of her way to make sure that like
Slap
to
a stranger
yeah,
and then go tell management.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is what's wrong here.
There's a white lady, right?
Actually, it was an older black woman. Her name is Miss Julie. She had been going to the Y for so long that apparently she's in the picture of the first softball team of that YMCA.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's goated.
But I was mad when writing the email, to be honest, that she was black because I was like, if she was white, I was so ready to pull the race card. I was so ready. And this white woman dared to slap me.
Laid a hand on my brown skin.
My caramel soft brown skin.
Now you just have to pray Miss Julie as a coronary or something.
you walk back into the YMCA with like a sling.
Oh yeah, countersuit. I got a rule for you. It's called don't hit people, and it's right here.
Yeah. But at the same time, mind your fucking business.
Yeah, right.
Like you just it's not a race thing, it's an old people thing. I don't know what it is about old people that they have to just have this like justice system, you know?
It's because their brains are jelly.
Yeah.
It's because they don't think so good some more.
I had applesauce for dinner.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm kind of idiot. I have a hard.
I love applesauce and pills.
Well, me too, but you don't hear me making a federal case about it. Like, relax, lady.
I think it's more so because like back in the day, it was so normalized for people to hit their kids that they got hit as well. So like her smacking me, like she didn't see me as an adult. She saw me as like a child acting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But to catch these
you
hands,
triggered
Miss
her
Julie.
maternal instincts, Jamie.
You know, that's kind of cute the way you put it. That was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But it made me want to hit her.
Yeah.
Slap. Fucking gut check.
It's just octogenarian goes sprawling. It's pretty fantastic.
Just fucking backhand this bitch.
I feel like there's
Just in front of a courtroom and just being like, if a woman hits you, don't you think it's fair to hit her back? And like, what are you talking about?
Your Honor, she triggered my self-defense mechanisms. I am a highly trained individual.
I have seen every Jackie Chan movie multiple times. That's just my natural instinct.
Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3.
I've been.
Isn't there a 4?
They're working on a 4 right now.
They're working on a 4.
Oh, that's fantastic news.
I
love those movies.
I love Jackie Chan movies. They're so awesome.
Shanghai Noon.
Oh, Shanghai Noon's a good one.
Shanghai Night, I think, is better than Shanghai Noon.
Have you seen the?
That's one when they're in London with Owen Wilson.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's right.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone seen?
Owen Wilson's in both of them. What am I talking about?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Wow.
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 Who here has seen the movie First Strike?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen First Strike, but I've seen Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson.
Ooh, which
is a goated movie.
What are you talking about? Who taught you the word goated and stop doing it?
What's that movie?
The Youths?
Is it like Drunken Monkey or something?
There's that one. That's another good one.
It's a fantastic one.
But First Strike is my favorite Jackie Chan movie because it has like I think one of the most well choreographed fight scenes with him, where he uses a ladder.
That's great. Yeah, that's incredible.
Incredible.
One would call it goated.
You know, it is goated.
One would, but what should one should?
Certified
One
goated.
could, but one is the loneliest number.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Drunken Master.
Drunken Master. I was just going to say that, Joseph.
Drunken Master
Thank you
is
so
very
much.
good.
That's
the references.
what I was thinking of.
We got him today.
Do you remember the dialogue in Drunken Master?
No, I just remember fights.
Wasn't
I
there
couldn't
like
tell you a word in that movie.
Okay,
wasn't there a scene in like where they're like on a train or something? Or?
Yeah.
I think that's the second one.
Yeah.
But like the first one, it starts off with like his dad is basically like, you should stop drinking so much because it's really bad for you. And every time you drink,
and just
you
like
get way too
young,
drunk. And then his mom is just like, no, I need you to win fight. Drink. And he's like, but no. Dad said this. And then it's like, no, I won't tell your father. Now drink this bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And kick this dude's ass. Basically.
But she does that multiple times in the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Where it's like, no, Mom, I'm an alcoholic. I can't control myself.
She's like,
are these are 80s movies, right? Are these on the 80s?
I think they're the 80s.
I swear, if I could live in one decade for the rest of my life, it would be the 80s.
Man.
Like everything. Like
There's some benefits.
You had some awesome action flicks that were just
action flicks, music.
Music was fantastic.
Piano, key ties, guitars,
shoulder pads,
guys, cocaine.
Cocaine was better.
Cocaine was better.
Concussions in the NFL
cocaine. I would do cocaine in the 80s.
You had fucking cool anime.
You hear me?
What?
Dan Marino was the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
Concussions in the NFL didn't exist in the 80s.
Yeah, dog.
It's true. They didn't have them yet.
They didn't invent that system.
Well, that's because that you would go straight for the head and you would just kill him.
Yeah.
Oh, coach, my tongue tastes purple. Get back out there.
You just got your bell rung. Rub some dirt in it. My ankles turned backwards.
Dude.
It's 4th and 1. Go straight up the gut.
And you could kill at comedy with just the most lazy shit. You could smash watermelons. You could just go up and be like, women be shopping. People would be like, oh my God.
Women do be shopping. This guy's a genius.
Black people drive like this. White people drive like this.
Asian people drive like...
And you would kill.
You would. I know.
We should redo The Matrix, but like they think
You just get to live in the 80s.
yeah, like they realize, like they do it again. They're like, we realize the 90s made people not as happy as they could be, but in the 80s,
Mr. Anderson, in the first version of The Matrix, everyone lived in the 1980s, but it was too perfect. No one believed it.
no one wanted to be not white.
You know what they say? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, like he's got this cake, and he's just like, I want to be born in the 80s. I want to be white. Very clearly white. Maybe a comedian.
I want to be Eddie Murphy in the 80s.
I just want to be Jerry Seinfeld. God, I'm gonna go home and rewatch all those movies.
You know what?
I want to be in Duran Duran.
Agent Smith is like, that's such a good band.
Hungry like the wolf is my jam.
Just Mrs. Smith. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Duran Duran is goated.
Oh my God, we gotta write this.
We're right. It's fighting itself, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's a fucking sketch.
I was gonna say fuck our
Fuck the live show,
Yeah,
dude.
fuck the live show. This is what we're doing.
Which will be coming to Nashville. You guys should
we're doing a
get
live
tickets
We
for
are
the
doing a live show on December the 9th
Yeah,
or
December
7th.
9th.
It's the 7th.
Is it the 7th?
I think it's the 7th.
It's definitely in December.
It's definitely in
It is
December, and it's
certainly
a
in December.
Saturday. I want to say it's the second Saturday of December.
Check the socials. We'll figure out the actual date.
Let's go with
Saturday at Third Coast live murder schmurder episode.
follow us on all
You know
our
what that
socials.
is? Chicago. Great band in the 80s.
Oh,
Email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com to get more info.
That's don't email trashville@gmail.com.
or follow us at Trashville_USA for any updates, fun postings, and just more of us.
Yeah.
What a hype, man. Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
Grant, if I remember correctly, you have a story for
Well,
us.
before we get into that, I think this is a great time to remind everybody about our fucking sponsor,
Baby.
Corsair
God
Distillery,
damn it, they're good.
the first distillery in Nashville post-prohibition. Opened up in 2010, which tells you a lot about the laws here in Tennessee.
Oh, our first distillery opened in 2010 that was the first one after Prohibition?
That's the 1st one after
What are you
prohibition.
doing, Nashville?
Late to the
Build
times.
wider roads. Get more distilleries.
Dude,
Stop building a fucking another stadium
Don't
for
build a
team for your
transit
team.
system. Don't do it. Just build more roads.
Okay, well, all right, poke holes.
I mean,
Mass transit would be cool too. Let's get the trains back going. Come on, dude. We didn't blow up all them Chinese people.
am I
for
crazy?
nothing.
Are the roads worse? Like I feel
No,
like they've
the
been
roads are
terrible.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
worse.
were.
I
Yeah.
feel like they've been worse than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Right. So just to blend in with the rest of the drunk drivers here in Nashville, Tennessee, which we don't suggest,
No.
maybe go up to your local liquor store, pick up a bottle of today's bottle, triple smoke American Scotch. It's not Scotch, American single malt whiskey.
Ooh, tell me about it.
So it's essentially a Scotch, but it's not made in Scotland, so you can't call it a Scotch.
Is that what makes a Scotch? It has to be made in Scotland? I didn't know that. That's facts.
And I think there's like a certain, you kind of like bourbon. There's like a certain build that you have to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also poisonous to Englishmen.
So the owner of Corsair actually learned how to distill out in Scotland.
Really?
Yeah, and so he brought the art of malted whiskey back to Nashville, essentially.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And so with this one, there is 3 different smoked barleys. You have malt comes from the barley, right, which makes it a bit of a smoother whiskey. They smoke the barleys 3 different ways with peat from Scotland. You have beechwood from Germany, and then cherrywood from Wisconsin. So like
cool.
you get everything you want from a Scotch with like the peatiness, but then he gives you this really nice cherrywood, almost barbecue kind of smoky finish. And it's delicious.
I'm enjoying some now.
And remember, we always suggest that you drink responsibly.
Yes.
But with the roads in the shape that they are now, I think you just blend in with everybody else.
Honestly, it might make the ride smoother. Otherwise, you're gonna have fucking whiplash going down 440.
I know
Fucking
this
Jesus.
whiskey sure is.
I'm just picturing like the advertisement is Grant with like a fucking glass of whiskey between his knees as he drives. Which Corsair doesn't recommend.
We do not. No, we do not.
But I've got like classical music on, just really
Yeah.
enjoying a nice pleasant drive. And then just zoom out to me just like swerving around and like smashing into cars and just
While Flight of the Valkyries just screams.
I'm thinking,
Don't cut me off, bitch!
and that was Flight of the Valkyries. And that was Flight of the Valkyries. Thank you for joining us at NPR.
He's upside down. In his
Oh, Terry Gross, you crazy.
That's what we.
upside down and trying to figure out how to take another sip, you know?
That's what we don't recommend. We don't recommend you do that. Call a fucking Uber.
Yes. It's way
Or
cheaper
Lyft.
than a DUI.
Yeah.
And that welcomes in our next sponsor, Uber.
I'm sure they'll love the free ad placement.
Ride responsibly with Uber.
Take one. I don't care if it's $200. Trust me, it's better than 10,000.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of Uber having commercials and they're just straightforwardly shooting for drunks. It's cheaper than a DUI.
I don't know why they haven't done that yet.
I mean, honestly, they should.
It makes sense.
Yeah, seriously.
But speaking of which, copyright Uber. So if you want that, you got to fucking give us that cash money, baby.
Right.
Or we'll
Make
have
it rain.
Jamie file some litigation paper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He
will.
He really likes to type. If you haven't heard,
He might do it anyway. We can barely restrain him.
You know how like different rappers have insulted people like, oh, they're just Twitter fingers. Like all they want to do is like talk shit. It's like, yeah, that's me. Like I wear that. I wish that was a badge I could wear proudly and honestly.
I'm Jamie Twitter fingers.
All right, you guys want to shut up and listen to my episode?
Yes, let's do it.
we
Let's
probably
do it.
should.
So today I'm going to be regaling you a fun history episode.
I like that word,
Yay.
regaling.
Very much my specialty.
I like the history episodes.
It's like I got galed and then regaled.
Known as the Great Molasses Flood.
Ooh.
That's what they called me in high school.
The Great Molasses Flood.
I'll
It
tell
was
you
a
about it
real
later.
bad Taco Bell incident.
I'm trying to pour this shot.
You can't do it.
So
You just see like something's goop down his
Why is it
shorts.
sticky?
Why did you say goop?
but we're going to be
That's
talking,
exactly right.
today we're going to be talking about a tragic and hilarious story involving molasses, also known as black treacle to
Wait,
the Brits.
Mole asses?
Molasses.
Oh, molasses.
That sweet, sticky stuff.
So mole asses?
Uh-huh.
Low
The
down.
sweet, sticky stuff. Yeah, molasses. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Molasses.
But
Musky.
it's a viscous substance resulting from refining sugarcane or sugar beets into sugar. Molasses varies in the amount of sugar, method of extraction, and age of the plant. Sugarcane molasses is primarily used to sweeten and flavor foods in the United States, Canada, and elsewhere. Molasses is a major constituent of fine commercial brown sugar. It also is one of the primary ingredients used to distill rum.
It's good. I use it in barbecue sauce sometimes.
And I love rum.
Now, back in 1915, molasses was a pretty hot.
That was the worst thing. And I love rum.
He
I don't have a
actually.
problem.
He does love rum.
I can stop anytime.
I was a pirate in another life. When I was
Rum
in
is
San,
very good.
When I was in San Francisco, the event was across the street, and they had this little bar up there. I drank like 4 straight Diplomaticos.
Those are fantastic.
I love Diplomatico.
So good.
I wish I had that as mine.
Um,
I love Corsair, but god damn it, I'm fucking.
Yeah, Corsair's got a good rum, honestly.
If you're listening, Diplomatico. I'll take some Sailor Jerry at this point.
No, I won't. No, I won't. It's where I draw the line.
But back in 1915, molasses was a pretty hot commodity, much more than today. And in Boston, the Purity Distilling Company decided to construct a tank so large that it took 30 men working 24/7 to get this thing built. And they were still behind schedule. And this soon-to-be holding tank wasn't to make cookies with, as you may assume based on their name. They were planning on distilling the molasses to make munitions by
What?
making ethanol out of it.
Oh.
Pretty
It's like
similar to
molasses
making-
bullets.
Pretty similar to making rum, but instead of getting pirates drunk, you
Say
can
cheese,
blow up
sugar.
their ship.
Yeah. I got shot. Now I'm sticky.
What year was this?
Yeah,
19
this sucks.
1915.
1915. So they just got done with World War One.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was wondering if it was like in the 1800s and they were trying to dodge the slavery word. Like we had 30 men working round the clock 24/7.
No.
Who totally wanted to be there.
We treated them real nice.
They were being paid.
Minimally, but paid.
But instead of, pretty similar to making rum, but instead of getting pirates drunk, you can blow up their ship.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Blow that ship
To
up.
convert molasses into ethanol, distillers rely on fermentation. The molasses is mixed with water and yeast, then fermented to produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. Later, the produced ethanol is separated from the carbon dioxide. Fermentation being exothermic, it also gives off heat.
Okay.
Let's just keep that in the back of our minds. World War I is going on at the time, but America isn't yet fully in it, just supplying weapons and munitions. You making
as
some
we
good
do,
monies, which is the American way.
That's what we do.
That's right. That's right.
We're not picking sides. We're just giving guns.
We're just selling to both. Hey, can't kill the Kaiser with your bare hands.
Hey, you know how like whenever it rains here in 1914, like the roads suck? Can we like fix that? No, we gotta give all these guns to Britain.
Yep.
Smash cut to, hey, you know how Asheville, North Carolina is underwater? Yeah, but we got to send all these bombs to Israel.
Man, we'd love to fix that.
We sure would love to.
President Zelensky just called us.
Yeah, it's real important we take care of these
North
other
Carolina,
motherfuckers.
like maybe if you would have called us yesterday.
Yeah. Or maybe if you just hadn't been in North Carolina. Did you think about that?
I mean,
Mountains often flood. Come on, guys.
I love like Uncle Sam's shoulders have got to be so fucking jacked from shrugging them for so long.
My hands are tied. I don't know what to tell you.
Apparently, Woodrow Wilson, who was president at the time, got a petition together with over 1 million signatures to stop these companies from sending arms and munitions to other countries for a profit. Just thought that was fun.
Really? Woodrow Wilson?
Mm-hmm. Anarchists in New York City and D.C. are even setting fires and explosives off to try and hinder this exact thing from happening.
Cool.
We were pretty firmly like, what was it, isolationists at that time.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
It would be awesome, honestly.
I mean, I'll take that at this point.
Boston actually got bombed twice the next year in 1916, making for a pretty fucking tense situation in America.
Yeah, at the marathon, right?
And on top of this, by 1919, Prohibition was...
Yeah, anyway, keep going.
Wait. Well, he's right. Do we need to follow up on that?
No, it was the marathon bomb was in like 2016. It was a dumb joke. I don't know.
I know.
I'm sorry.
About 100 years too late there, bud.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, whatever. It's not a comedy podcast. I'm sorry.
Anyways, Prohibition was quickly becoming a looming and very real threat to the nation, so they thought, let's double down, get a bunch of rum made before they shut that shit down, and have reserves to either sell later or, more likely, sell it on the black market. So, let's circle back to this massive molasses tank. This, again, is
Massive Molasses.
That's a pretty good name.
That's a band name.
It is.
Massive molasses
Massive
tank.
Molasses Tank.
Yeah,
like
massive,
that.
massive molasses.
Sounds like Willy Wonka if he was a top.
Jeez. Yeah. I like that. I like that too much. If Willy Wonka was a top.
Come with me, and you'll see
A world of pure imagination.
of pure domination.
On your face.
Show you my chocolate river.
You gotta get to the cream filling.
Again.
Mr. Wonka, why do you invite children to your...
Don't worry about it.
No press.
The younger the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Oh my.
And the bar goes down. I told you.
We're rewriting The Matrix first. Once we're done with that, then we
are gonna
then we'll
rewrite
do Willy Wonka.
And we gotta do Willy Wonka.
We got Slick Willy Wonka.
Slick Willy.
Slick Willy Wonka.
Just played by Joe Biden.
No, it's Bill Clinton.
That's for sure.
I think we should still use Timothy Chalamet.
We're gonna go to my chocolate fountain.
But like, make him weird. Weirder.
Chocolate cigar.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on. Can I have Joe Biden as the grandfather?
Grandpa Joe. How has no one done that already?
God.
How's that not a meme?
I don't know.
Of just
gotta-
him laying in bed with like Kamala and like fucking Chuck Schumer or something.
We gotta go take it, Charlie. We gotta go take it. Go to
Really
the factory. Go to the factory with all the chocolate in the world.
Go to the factory. The Oompa Loompas were black in the book.
You go Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. You go pick a pack of Papa Peppers. You sell them down by the seashore like Sally does.
Just tell just telling all the
I gotta
kids.
go and check it.
Don't touch the Oompa Loompas. They're dirty.
If you don't like chocolate, you're not orange.
Good. I like that.
Mini Donald
You're not
Trump.
orange
So
with
the
green.
Oompa Loompas.
You're not orange with green hair.
Yeah, one of the Oompa Loompas is definitely Trump. And he's like,
Oompa Loompa jumpity doo. Don't I have a puzzle for you? You can live in America too.
Dude, I am loving that idea of just like
Likely
cloning mini Donald Trumps.
Yeah.
And they're singing the songs.
What do you get when you don't protect the border?
Yeah.
we're going to build a wall around the factory.
Nobody gets in. Nobody gets out.
All right.
I'm sorry.
You know,
That's
like
just
Disney is
great.
making movies that like
I'm sorry.
like where like they're trying to be as PC as possible. I like the idea of us making a movie that's the most anti-PC movie ever. But carry on, Grant.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this is all about money, right? Meaning they want it close to the harbor in order to get shipments from Cuba and the Caribbean in and near a railroad to take the fermented product to plants to further the process of essentially weaponizing this syrup, which means a fuck ton of permits. Making the construction process fall behind schedule. Also keep that little nugget in the back of your mind. To add to the mess of all this, a guy dies during construction, and in December of that year, they got 20 inches of snow, followed by several weeks of high winds and sleet.
Did he fall in the molasses?
I think he just fell off of. This is a massive fucking tank. They haven't filled it yet.
He falls
But he
into
falls
the.
off of the top of it and dies.
I feel like that's how Willy Wonka came to be. Kind of like the Joker.
That's pretty good.
Gene Wilder just backwards walks out of the molasses.
So, as expected, our foreman of this project, Arthur Gell, is about to pull his fucking hair out. But instead of doing that, he starts cutting corners. First, he only puts 6 inches of water into a tank that will potentially hold over 2.5 million gallons of molasses to test it for leaks. We're obviously thinking at this point, what the fuck, you fucking moron, and agreed, but they literally had a deadline of 6 months because their first shipment of molasses was on its way when they started.
So, I mean, what are you going to do?
They got molasses on the way.
So to
What are you gonna do with it?
So to fill the tank entirely would have taken weeks, and at this point, he only had a few days. So they ended up with a poorly constructed, rushed, and barely tested tank that is 50 feet high and more than 90 feet in diameter.
Jesus Christ,
It can
really?
it can hold, again, 2.5 million gallons of molasses.
Theoretically.
Fuck.
Which,
Well, yeah, it's supposed to.
which, by the way, in case anybody is curious, is heavier than water, reacts differently than water, and they're planning on fermenting it.
And apparently also produces heat
Well, by fermenting it,
by
they're
fermenting
gonna,
it.
like basically pressurize it and
Yeah.
heat it.
So they're making a fucking 9 million. What was it again? The
2.5 million. Oh, sorry,
two-
a 90-foot diameter.
a 90-foot diameter pressure cooker filled with hot, sticky
No,
molasses.
they're making a pipe
sir.
bomb is what they're doing.
Well, either way, let's jump ahead. It was lunchtime 4 years later in 1919. By the way, the fucker lasted for 4 years. I'm kind of impressed. A man by the name of John Barry and a stonecutter by trade swung by a firehouse in North Boston to see his buddy. Something he often did, considering there was a full kitchen, piano, and pool table.
Ooh.
So he and a bunch of firemen are playing some cards on an unseasonably warm Friday in January. Then they heard a crashing sound, causing John to look out the window and say, "Oh my God, run." And then everything turned black.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The sweet waves are coming.
Meanwhile, a train conductor named Royal Albert Lehman, amazing name, was right on schedule with his passenger cars when something crashed into the elevated train tracks above Commercial Street.
Shit!
They were now at a severe lean, but he had no time to stop. So he gunned it in order to try and jump the gap over the street, and amazingly was able
They
to
really
jump-
did. They really didn't have
That
time
is
in the
sick.
1900s, man.
Dude, how is this not a movie?
And he was able to come to a screeching but safe stop on the other side.
fuck yeah,
Saved
dude.
everybody on that fucking
he
train.
fucking
dude.
jumped the shark on
He
that
jumped
boat.
the shark, baby. But
This is like a Michael Bay movie, right?
I know. But
Everyone get out of here.
Check this shit out. It gets better. But he knew there was another train just 5 to 7 minutes behind him, and they had no fucking chance at this insane luck. So he climbed from the train and sprinted down the mangled tracks back the way he came to try and warn the oncoming train.
Damn.
When in sight, he was waving his arms wildly and screaming, "The track is down." And it worked. They came to a
It
safe
worked?
spot. Yeah. And it
Hell
was,
yeah,
I'm going
dude.
to outline the coolest fucking guy in this whole story.
Yeah.
Oh
A-
my
A
god.
man named Royal.
He's definitely
Royal.
Dude, he's smoking a cigar the whole time.
Oh yeah.
What's that
Yeah.
one movie with the train that's like that can't stop? I forget who's in it. It's
Snowpiercer?
it's not Snowpiercer. Maybe
Speed 4.
Bullet Train. Is that what it's
Speed 4.
called?
Are you talking
That's,
about
I mean,
the
that's a
new
good
one?
idea.
No, it's not a new movie.
It's not a new movie.
And it's a train that can't stop.
It's a train that it can't stop. Fucking what's it?
I don't know. Look it up.
Doing it.
Meanwhile, a beat cop, Officer McManus, was on a call box to give his afternoon report to the station when he heard machine gun fire off in the distance.
It's called Unstoppable.
Mm.
Came out in
Apt.
2010.
Apt title. But it wasn't gunfire, it was rivets shooting out of our 50-foot tall, 90-foot
Oh
long,
no! My
way
God.
too fucking big of a holding tank.
Right.
McManus-
That's just a glimpse of World War II right there.
Yeah. If you get hit by one of these rivets, this thing will fucking tear right through you.
It's like
yeah.
McManus turned to see the molasses tank seem to, quote, disintegrate before his eyes, disgorging an enormous wall of thick, dark liquid that blackened the sky and snuffed out the daylight.
oh my god.
By the way, this guy was a poet.
Yeah. Fucking Irish Flatfoot over here knows how to turn a phrase.
Hang
this-
on. Are you going to get into like how they put the molasses in?
No.
Because at one point you had to think like they were like,
Thank you.
this is
spare us the time
It's top fed.
that nobody has in this story. Apparently,
right?
nobody's got time in this
I just
story.
There's no time. The molasses is coming.
I just want to know, like, was everyone just like, yeah, just put it in?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Was it like
1,000
just big funnel?
So it's top fed. So like the
Oh, okay.
the shipping like the shipping ship. What the fuck am I trying to say? Anyways, the boat that came over with all the molasses in it, and it was several shipments of molasses.
That was several boats worth of
Yeah,
molasses.
again, I mean, this is like 4 years later after they built
That's
it.
true. So
You
they've
know?
just been pumping.
Yeah, so they basically, I don't remember the old school pump systems that they used to have, but it's a top fed system. So the boat pulls up because it's right there in the bay. Boat pulls up, they set up the rigging and everything, and they just pour the molasses in the top of it.
I'm sorry. And where are
They
we?
add yeast to
Like in the United
get it to
States?
Boston.
ferment.
Boston. Thank you.
So this is the beginning of the Great Molasses Flood, or the Boston Molasses Disaster, in which 2.3 million U.S. gallons, or 8.7 million liters, for anybody listening overseas, which is enough to fill 3 Olympic swimming pools of molasses, which
Hell
is
yeah.
close to the capacity of the tank, weighing approximately 13,000 tons
13,000 tons?
of molasses burst, and the resultant wave of molasses rushed through the streets at an estimated 35 miles per hour, or 56 kilometers per hour, killing 21 people and injuring 150.
Oh my god.
So when it hit them, they just like drown, like they just get caught up in it and drown?
Yeah, I will get into the details of that. On January 15th of 1919, temperatures in Boston had risen to above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, climbing rapidly from the frigid temperatures of the preceding days. And the previous day, a ship had delivered a fresh load of molasses, which had been warmed to reduce its viscosity for transfer. Possibly due to the thermal expansion of the older, colder molasses already inside the tank burst open and collapsed at approximately 12:30 p.m. Witnesses reported that they felt the ground shake and heard a roar as it collapsed. A long rumble similar to the passing of an elevated train. Others reported a tremendous crashing, a deep growling, a thunderclap-like bang. and a sound like machine gun, and a sound like a machine gun as the rivets shot out of the tank. The density of this molasses is about 40% more dense than water, which if you remember, homie only put 6 inches of water in the bottom to test this fucker, resulting...
It's fine!
We don't have time. Keep going. Throw the molasses in.
It's 1915. We have time. We don't have time.
Resulting in the molasses having a great deal of potential energy. The collapse translated this energy into a wave of molasses 25 feet high at its peak.
What? Wait, what? The wave was 25?
Literal tidal wave.
Yeah. 25 feet tall, going 35 miles an hour?
That's taller than buildings back then.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's where I thought you were going to say it's taller than people. Yeah.
Detective Austin back in the case.
That's taller than like 4 people stacked on top of each other.
See, this is how I'm right all the time lately. You just got to be right about the little things.
Yeah. That's like 5 feet people stacked on top of each other. It's like,
She's good.
You're right.
He's good.
It's good. This guy gets it.
Cookie. Where's the cookie?
Some accounts say a 15 to 40 foot high wave and 160 feet wide, moving at, I want to say it again, 35 miles per hour.
Terrifying.
That's crazy.
Like,
if that happened now, like, what would you do?
I mean, like,
I don't know.
I mean, the last.
I really don't know.
The last big, like, I can't say the last tragedy, but like the last big one, like 9/11, right? And like you saw the videos of the people just like looking at the towers falling and just like that all like, could you imagine just like a wall of molasses coming towards you?
The 9/11 molasses.
Like, do I run or is it just too late for me?
I'm gonna have a good story for God when I get there.
It was presumably changing as it was moving, a researcher of the event named Sharp said, noting that photos of the aftermath showed molasses splattered on the second floor windows of nearby buildings hit by the wave. Sharp also noted that the technical term for the wave of molasses is a gravity current, which, like an avalanche or a lava flow, consists of a dense flow, molasses in this case, moving into a less dense flow, air.
Okay.
Right? So, again, I like to think just fucking gravity current. They had to use terms as for lava or a snow avalanche because I don't think this has ever happened before and since. So
it's like a natural disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The wave was of sufficient force to drive steel panels of the burst tank against the girders of the adjacent Boston Elevated Railway's Atlantic Avenue structure and tip a streetcar momentarily off the L's tracks. And back to our firehouse, the other half of the tank remaining that was next to it caused a vacuum sufficient enough to literally pull the building toward it.
Oh my God.
Causing the whole thing to collapse. Old John Barry apparently got stuck in an 18-foot gap between the floors with the pool table and the piano holding them up. Crazy enough, he survived long enough to die in a makeshift hospital a few hours later. But can you imagine just witnessing a building being sucked apart?
Yeah.
God.
I would just assume like this is the end of days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like when you see like in like Independence Day, like when like you know when the like a wall of fire is destroying everything in front of you.
Yeah.
And he's like it's either aliens or God, but it's definitely not man-made.
Yeah.
But also it probably smelled delicious, so you're probably like even more confused.
Yeah.
I don't know. Burnt sugar just doesn't sound appealing to me.
Right?
Oh, caramelization.
Maybe.
Stephen Puleo describes how the flood itself caused nearby buildings to be swept off their foundations and then crushed. Several blocks were flooded to a depth of 2 to 3 feet. And this is a quote from him in the Boston Post. Molasses, waist deep, covered the street and swirled and bubbled around about the wreckage. Here and there struggled to form. Whether it was an animal or a human being was impossible to tell. Only an upheaval, a thrashing about in the sticky mass, showed where any life was. Horses died like so many flies on sticky flypaper.
Oh my God.
The more they struggled, the deeper in the mess they were ensnared.
Oh, man.
This is hellish.
This is hell.
It is, dude.
Like, this is crazy.
Imagine how heavy a horse is and having to move a dead, sticky horse, and how every fly is like just the whole city must have been.
The cleanup
fucked.
must have been insane.
If there
Grab
was
your
any
scrapers.
cleaning.
Yeah.
I kind of want to recreate this like as a kid's science project.
Oh, I thought you meant like as a terrorist attack.
No.
I would be
I'll show him.
I would be a terrified middle school teacher. It's like, I recreated the
Boston Molasses
disaster.
Like, so we're gonna
Here
send
you see the horses stuck like mini flies in a flypaper.
Very good, Tommy.
Yeah.
Instead of horses, I use guinea pigs. It's just like,
Oh, that's great.
I'm afraid to give you anything less than an A+.
And I'm also going to give you this letter to take home to your parents. Don't read it. Just give it to your mom.
Because I assume Dad's out of the picture.
How'd you know? The Boston Globe reported that people were picked up by a rush of air and hurled many feet. Others had debris hurled at them from the rush of sweet-smelling air. A truck was picked up and thrown into Boston Harbor. After the initial wave, the molasses became viscous, exasperated by the cold temperatures, trapping those caught in the wave and making it even more difficult to rescue them. Some were crushed and drowned by the molasses or by the debris that it carried within. The wounded included people, horses, and dogs. Coughing fits became the most common ailments after the initial blast, but apparently the biggest issue was asphyxiation caused as it cooled and it got rammed into people's nostrils and throats, and they literally couldn't wipe it away or expel it before suffocating.
Fuck.
that's a hell
To,
of a
to attempt to wipe it with the hands was to make it worse. It plugged the nostrils almost airtight.
Oh, no.
I didn't even think of that.
Dude, that's like some biblical like fuckery right there.
Yeah.
Like that's like if God said like don't eat this caramel and you like ate it anyway, like that's how you die.
Yeah.
I told you.
Edwards Park wrote of one child's experience in a 1983 article for the Smithsonian. Anthony D. Stasio, walking homeward with his sisters from the Michelangelo School, was picked up by the wave and carried, tumbling on its crest, almost as though he were surfing. Then he grounded, and the molasses rolled him like a pebble as the wave diminished. He heard his mother call his name, and he couldn't answer. His throat was so clogged with the smothering goo. He passed out and then opened his eyes.
Tony, where are you? Ma, I'm dying over here.
to find three of his four sisters staring at him. Thanks to Officer McManus from earlier, rescuers came quickly. First to the scene were 116 cadets under the direction of Lieutenant Commander H.J. Copeland from USS Nantucket, a training ship of the Massachusetts Nautical School that was docked nearby at the playground pier, as they call it. The cadets ran several blocks towards the accident and entered into the knee-deep flood of molasses to pull out the survivors, while others worked to keep the curious onlookers from getting in the way of the rescuers. The Boston Police, Red Cross, Army, and Navy personnel soon arrived. Some nurses from the Red Cross dived headfirst into the molasses.
Brave.
Yeah.
Not to be an asshole, but could you imagine that scene, like someone drowning, like, okay, guys, that's hilarious doing the like slow-mo Baywatch swim, but like fucking safe. Others tended to the injured, keeping them warm and feeding the exhausted workers. Many of these people worked through the night, and the injured were so numerous that doctors and surgeons set up a makeshift hospital in a nearby building. Rescuers found it difficult to make their way through the syrup to help the victims, and 4 days elapsed before they stopped searching. Many of the dead were so glazed over in the molasses that they were hard to recognize. Other victims were swept into the Boston Harbor and were found 3 to 4 months later after the disaster. Cleanup crews used salt water from a fireboat to wash away the molasses and sand to absorb it. And the harbor was brown with molasses until summer. The cleanup in the immediate...
The fish are just like, tastes good.
Also, those are fucking tasty ass fish.
Yeah.
The cleanup in the immediate area took weeks, with several hundred people contributing to the effort. They soon found out, too, that if they stood in one place too long, they literally got stuck to the ground. Unfortunately, that also included...
I know I'm late for work again. I'm sorry. But I got a good excuse.
What are you talking about? This is 1915. We don't have time.
That was a glance over this. They had to shoot a lot of horses, which sucks.
Damn. Shooting sticky horse.
Yeah. It took it even longer to clean the rest of the greater Boston and its suburbs. Rescue workers, cleanup crews, and sightseers had tracked molasses through the streets and spread it to subway platforms, to the seats inside the trains.
Sightseers, people were like, damn, this place is fucked up.
I mean,
time to go back to the burbs. Yeah.
back in the day, too, when there's not a lot to do, I think all of us would be like, hey, you want to walk to Boston and
I hear it's
check
fucked up.
check this fucking molasses explosion
Dude,
out?
I hear there's people literally candied to death. I want to see it.
Imagine trying to be a robber during this time. And you're like,
see you later, coppers.
It's stuck on the side of the road.
Shit.
It's my transatlantic shit there for you.
Shit, say?
Yeah, so they tracked molasses onto the platforms, the seats inside the trains, and streetcars, pay telephone handsets, homes, and countless other places. It was reported that everything that a Bostonian touched was sticky.
We're never gonna live this one down.
Here's some fucked up shit from an Ohio newspaper not too long after.
Just grilling Boston.
Boston idiots, fuck up again.
They call them the Boston idiots.
So this is from this Ohio paper. A big molasses jug in Boston blew up the other day and killed a score or more of people, and in addition caused much damage to property. The cause of the explosion was in all likelihood fermentation. Many people do not know that the so-called New Orleans molasses is highly susceptible to fermentation, and that if it isn't looked after properly, an explosion is not surprising. It was just placed in a vast container and allowed to look after itself. Fermentation set in gradually, and eventually the big blow-off came. It sort of reminds one of certain business undertakings, which are given a good start by their promoters and are left to take care of themselves. A fermentation will start in a business way unless it is offset by judicial advertising. And unless this advertising is looked for and continued carefully, there will eventually result in a big blowing up, after which there will be little left of the business. Advertising day to day will prevent fermentation and stagnation in your business enterprise. Don't take our word for it. Try and see.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Boom, roasted.
It's in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was in Ohio.
That was in Ohio.
Yeah.
What if they were like? What if they were like? Hey, one if by land, two if by syrup. No, that was bad. Damn it.
You must be from Boston.
Damn it. Jules, cut that out.
In the wake of the accident, 119 residents brought a class action lawsuit against the United States Industrial Alcohol Company, which had bought Purity Distilling in 1917. So I feel like Purity was like, let's offload this shit. It was one of the first.
Wait, Purity, like the milk company?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. They're like, we better switch to milk. Hey, does milk ferment? It does? Shit.
So Purity was like, "Oh, this is a recipe for disaster. We got to get out of here."
Yeah.
And they just sold it.
Yeah, they sold it to
Sick.
Recipe for disaster.
You like that?
I like
good.
that. You little bitch.
It was one of the first.
little bitch.
It was one of the first class action lawsuits in Massachusetts and is considered a milestone in paving the way for modern corporate regulations.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah. The company claimed that the tank had been blown up by anarchists because some of the alcohol produced was to be used in making munitions. But a court-appointed auditor found USIA responsible after 3 years of hearings, and the company ultimately paid out $628,000 in damages, which is $9.3 million in 2020, adjusted for inflation. Relatives of those killed reportedly received around $7,000 per victim, which is about $104,000. So
not bad.
Yeah.
I've been praying.
Did a lot of workers die in this?
Yeah.
Just one guy died building the tank.
But all the workers were like, "This is fucked up. I'm out."
Oh, I did a bad job. Not putting that on the resume.
Like they said that you said the rivets were shooting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the workers were like, this thing is gonna blow any second.
Probably nobody died
Did I put this in?
of getting shot through the head by a rivet, but I'm sure when they do make the movie, somebody will.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
It's a good scene.
I didn't put this in here, but I'm 90% sure I read over a story of like an overnight guard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Had like a few days before, it kept hearing like a deep rumble groaning kind of sound.
That's ominous as shit.
Like you just see this giant
like,
can just like breathing.
Well, that can't be good.
It growled soon?
Soon.
I just want to report it because that seems bad.
I'm pretty sure it was soon. It was hard to tell, but it felt
Pretty
like
sure it said soon.
That's terrible. That's horrible. That's horrifying. like there's green toxic fumes.
Yeah.
It kept telling me to feed it more molasses.
Why does it remind me of the
More
painting
sugar.
in Ghostbusters 2?
Yeah.
The painting in Ghostbusters 2. It's just like gives you the angry eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all our guards keep quitting. I don't know why.
So it was poorly built, but it also sounds like they didn't maintain shit.
Yeah, I've got so several factors may have contributed to this disaster. The first factor is the belief that the tank may have leaked from the very first day, and then it was filled.
Every worker's just
in
like, dude, don't
1915.
be here next
I mean, I
month.
put water in it. I put water in it.
6 inches of water.
The tank was also constructed poorly and tested insufficiently. A 2015 study found that the tank was stressed well beyond capacity and made from a steel susceptible to fracture. The same steel to build the Titanic, in fact. They found
that
the-
worked out great.
That's why.
God, dude, it's fucking on the same fucking page, dude.
They found the walls to be too thin, and the type of steel used had too little manganese, making it more brittle.
Hang on, when did the Titanic go down? Was it 1911 or 1914?
Yeah, don't ask me that because I'll lie to
Right
you.
around there.
You mean when was the Titanic sunk intentionally, bro?
It was in 1912.
I still kind of maybe think so.
So a little bit before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So it was more likely to crack, and it had a high
Oh, yeah.
transition temperature. The tank's rivets were also apparently flawed, and the cracks first formed at the rivet holes.
I'm sorry, they get the steel from the Titanic. They're like, wait, didn't that thing just crash from an iceberg? Do I see any icebergs around here? Do you see any icebergs
No,
in
there was
Boston?
definitely a
I
salesman.
got this steel for a mint, okay?
Also, real quick, this painting of the sinking of the Titanic kind of goes hard.
That is
Oh, that's badass.
That's fucking cool, right?
I'm selling you the best
yeah.
steel we've got. This
a metal
steel is
album right there.
unsinkable.
Yeah, that's
I'm
an
telling
album
you,
cover.
you can't break this steel.
I'm pretty. Didn't that already happen?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Titanic, what?
That's a hoax, didn't you hear?
That's a hoax. That's a German
They
hoax.
sunk it on purpose.
Carbon dioxide produced may have also raised the internal pressure due to the fermentation in the tank. Warmer weather the previous day would have assisted in building this pressure as the air temperature rose from 2 to 41 degrees.
Why am I all of a sudden tired around this big tank?
That's a hell ass fucking.
Well, again, it was a really oddly warm day in January.
Does anybody else
I don't think they were expecting.
Does anybody else feel kind of lightheaded around this tank?
The tank is creaking. I can't. I feel weird.
I don't know, man. There's just something about this tank.
Just go take a nap. You're doomed.
The failure occurred from a manhole cover near the base of the tank, and a fatigue crack there possibly grew to the point of criticality. Employees before the explosion reported hearing groaning sounds coming from the tank on several occasions.
That's something. That's a
Weeks
warning.
to months.
One guy regularly went in after his shift at night to keep checking on it from a gut feeling that something was wrong.
This dude's putting in time after work. That's how concerned he
Could
was.
you imagine just like
It's
going
talking
home
to him.
and you're like,
I will blot out the sun.
like you lay
Mr.
down
Tank.
next to your wife and you're like,
Yeah.
These are good people.
honey, I just don't feel right. I gotta go check on the tank. It's like, honey, it's still gonna be there. It's like, I don't know.
I just don't know. I don't know. It's whispering to me.
Flashlight unlocks the gate, and it's like, soon.
Sounds like the devil with a tummy ache. Like just fucking.
Like in every movie, like there's always a guy like who saw the UFO. He's like cracked out, and he's like, I know what I saw. I know what the molasses is coming. It's coming.
We're in a sandwich board and like preaching in the streets. I'm telling you, it's happening.
Tinfoil hat.
The end is nigh and sticky.
This guy's on a fucking ladder watching it happen. I tried to tell you.
Someone's just like, so I'm just gonna die from molasses. You're telling me I'm gonna die in a river of fucking
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
I'm
I'm gonna die in molasses. What am I? A stack of flapjacks? Cut to.
He gets stuck to an IHOP sign.
So the tank had been filled to capacity only 8 times since it was built a few years previously, putting the walls under an intermittent critical load. So basically, fill it, put it under a lot of intense weight and pressure, and then drain it, fill it again. Several authors say that the Purity Distilling Company was trying to outrace prohibition, as the 18th Amendment was ratified the next day, January 16th, 1919.
Government fucks up everything.
Yeah.
And took effect.
That's why they didn't have time.
And
Because they
why
were
the-
working against the clock.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, there was no government oversight, but the government kind of did it wrong both times.
As they do.
Hang on, when was OSHA put together? Because I'm wondering if like this was like, did people come together and like, we need somebody.
Yeah,
to
back
keep
then
up.
they had oh shit.
That's a good one.
I guess I didn't put this in here, but so when Prohibition happened, they actually rang bells all around the country.
This is a last call.
Basically, yeah. It
Oh,
was like
hell yeah.
a countrywide last call, any like bell towers in cities and stuff.
all I remember is like
Go ahead and get hammered now. Go ahead.
the only thing I remember about the Prohibition or like pictures from Prohibition was like the Karens with the hammers that were like smashing
Smashing
liquor
the
bottles.
I've got a fantastic story about a lady that went through doing just that. She was
Did you get
horrified.
punched in the face? Because that's what I would have
No,
done.
apparently she carried an like a hatchet.
Kidding,
with her as
listener,
well.
dear listener.
And she
Sort
would-
of kidding.
Sorta
was
kidding.
Just going through, just destroying bars and murking anybody that tried to stop her.
I mean,
That's actually kind of
people.
sick.
I mean, in 1918, I'm sure I would get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It would have
you
been
would-
fine.
No, nobody would have.
They would have been like, what? You hit a woman? All right. On to the next thing.
I understand. We don't have time to understand.
We don't have time to understand. They can't even vote yet. Who cares?
So Arthur Gell from earlier was the guy that oversaw the construction of it. He was a treasurer, not an engineer, and he
Okay.
clearly neglected basic safety tests while overseeing the construction of the tank. i.e. filling it with just a little bit of water to check for leaks. Ignored warning signs such as groaning noises each time the tank was filled. He had no architectural or engineering experience. When filled with molasses, the tank leaked so badly it was painted brown to hide the leakage.
That's so fucking
This story
stupid.
keeps getting worse.
That's
Like
awesome.
instead of putting money to fix it,
We'll just paint it
they're
brown.
paying people to just.
so dumb. That's so I love it. That is like pure like stupidity, but also practicality. You know what I mean?
Like, where's Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, it gives me more like Wile E. Coyote.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a Buster Keaton movie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
We'll just paint it brown.
It's got Acme paint.
In 2016, a team of scientists and students at Harvard conducted an extensive set of studies of this disaster, gathering data from many sources, including the 1919 newspaper articles, old maps, and weather reports. The student researchers also studied the behavior of cold corn syrup flooding a scale model of the affected neighborhood.
Damn, they took my idea.
The research concluded that the reports of the high speed of the flood were credible. So,
Okay.
yeah. 2 days before the disaster, warmer molasses had been
Hang on, so
added.
you're
was
saying
gonna say-
some guy was just like, it had to be going something like, I don't know, 35 miles an hour? That's wild. What?
Yeah, and they were like,
And he was right.
well, let's
Well,
test it.
and I was gonna say back in like 1914, 35 miles an hour. That's fast.
yeah.
yeah, dude, they had
They'd be
horses.
like, oh, it went 0 to 35 miles per hour in like, I don't know, 20.6 seconds.
Nowadays, like if I'm driving 35 miles anywhere, I'm screaming at the person in front of me.
You're pissed, but back then that was quick.
That was-
Yeah.
This thing was hauling ass.
Seriously.
2 days before the disaster, warmer molasses had been added to the tank, reducing the viscosity of the fluid. When the tank collapsed, the fluid cooled quickly as it spread until it reached Boston's winter evening temperatures, and the viscosity increased dramatically. The Harvard study concluded that the molasses cooled and thickened quickly as it rushed through the streets, hampering efforts to free victims before they suffocated. That's the end of my little episode here. But just
Hang
I
on.
put that in there just to try and help people visualize the fact that basically it is a hot tidal wave of syrup.
Again, 35 miles per hour.
35 miles per hour.
25 feet
Reasonably
high.
25 feet high.
Yeah. And then as it comes, it just immediately cooled and thickened.
Yeah.
what I mean? So
You know what's
rushes through.
the funniest
and then
part
just
about that?
settles and thickens.
So,
So
like,
you're just
You're
stuck.
hit,
Literally
you're
stuck.
trapped, and then it traps you
Yeah.
immediately.
Like, yeah, one kid got to surf.
You know,
on it
like
for a
the you know,
second.
like the mosquito that's trapped in the amber
Yeah.
in
like
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's you now.
You know what's the worst?
dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
You know what's the worst part about this? So let's say you're a mile away from the tidal wave. Going at 35 miles an hour, you have almost 2 minutes to kind of soak in the fact that there's a 25
You're about
foot
to
high.
get fucking decked by a wave
You're
of
like,
molasses.
that can't be what I think it is.
You smell it and you're like, I think it is. And then you still have a minute and a half to be like, this is the dumbest way I'm going to die.
What
Like,
smells like burnt sugar? Oh,
oh. Well, see now, this is a problem.
Honey, come over here. You have to see this. Do
Yeah, let's go into our
I have to see it right now?
ramshackle-
You've got about 90 seconds. Don't worry.
Yeah, what are we going to do? Hide in our fucking tenement building and like hope it doesn't sweep it away?
wind up the Henry Ford machine.
Yeah, some dude just cranking his Model T. Oh boy! Oh my god! Oh boy! Crank faster, bastard!
Oh, he's making his wife crank.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Bessie's got fucking like milk pail carrying shoulders, dude. She's cranking that thing. Tear your dick off like a fucking stalk of celery.
Hurry, let off the clutch.
What about the boy? Leave him.
We'll make another one.
He's chubby. He'll love it.
We don't have time.
Imagine how
This is
many.
1914. We don't have time.
Well, yeah, and Boston also burnt down too, right? Or was that the Chicago fire?
Chicago.
Chicago
yeah.
fire.
Never mind.
Hang on,
Maybe
so-
Boston burned down too. You
Yeah,
never know.
probably.
I'm thinking there had to be like
A lot of cities
one
burned down.
bar with
East Nashville burnt down.
That's right.
And then it was swept away by a tornado.
Yep, that's right.
like twice.
And a flood.
And a flood.
We're just doing great.
Why are we here?
What's it called? There had to be like a bar full of barflies, and someone just comes in like, "We're all gonna die." How long do we have? 2 minutes.
We get one more bill.
Well, it is almost prohibition. Might as well pour me another.
Just something like, "Pay me your tab now."
I'll get you on the next one. Some fucking shithole dive bar in the late 1910s too. So it's like divey, just filled with molasses. It's like creeping up, and dude's just like, I'm gonna die the way I live.
It just has an old fashioned hand, dips his finger in the molasses, and mixes his drink.
He's got just a glass of warm whiskey. It's just like old fashioned.
Yeah, I'm picturing like a fat kid just like running around with his like hands on his head, just like, I didn't mean it like this. This isn't what I wished for. That genie tricked me.
I was gonna say,
Damn
like,
birthday wishes.
like the people cleaning it up, like they're like scraping it off the fucking walls of building. There's that one guy that like looks around and like puts a little bit in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
That would have been great.
A wedding ring. I'll give it to my honey.
There had to be people scavenging around, you know?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Just like
so.
picking apart sugary people and just like, God damn wedding ring.
Another dead black guy. Oh, wait.
Oh no, he's white.
Nah, he's a white fella.
So like
Bar lowered.
after this incident,
I got it pretty low earlier.
You said like the class action lawsuit, there was that, and it seemed to have like some ramifications. Were there any like I looked it up, so like OSHA wasn't even put in until 1970. So obviously,
Really?
1970. Yeah, 1970.
I told you.
Jesus Christ.
I told you back then they had oh shit.
Did they put anything in place to like counteract something like this from happening in the future? Or they were like,
No.
certified whoops.
Yeah, I mean basically it was a
Certified whoops.
Yeah. But in that it was, like I said earlier, it was basically like one of the first milestone steps towards like corporate regulations and stuff. Because at the time, like when this happened, nobody gave a shit. It really was very much we have the money to build this tank. Who the fuck cares if it really like works?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna sell this to make rum and to make munitions.
What are they going to do? Send an inspector?
Yeah, so basically,
With their cigars.
I mean, the guy that was in charge of overseeing this was literally just a fucking treasurer. Like he was basically their accountant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like
I love how he pours a cup of water.
6 inches of water.
She'll hold.
There had to be some guy who was just like, sir, it's going to break any day. Paint it brown.
Yeah, there was a guy that kept checking on it. Like literally would go home, felt so bad about it, would go back to the site to check it.
I went and checked on that tank, and it was like, is that bad?
Yeah, the tank was saying, I'm so close.
Right there, faster? I'm not really sure.
I'm going to squirt? I don't know.
I'm gonna gush.
And that it did.
So how long did it smell? What'd they say?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I bet you at least a year.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
I mean, the bay was literally turned darker color because of the molasses until summer. So I mean, like basically 6 months.
Wow.
Just
The ocean
everything
looked
being
different.
fucking everything's just
And then again-
sticky.
Yeah. You
Everything
lean
of-
against the wall and you're like, fuck, there too.
Everything a
God damn.
Bostonian touch was sticky, as they said.
Like, there's nothing worse than like a sticky bar top.
Yeah, and that's just
hate
the whole
sticky.
city.
Is that when they invented the rule, like, don't put your elbows on the table? Because you might rip your elbows off.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine that? I hate fucking sticky. Like, one of the reasons I
Oh
don't,
my God, it's the
like,
worst.
I'm fine with kids. I don't really care for them because 9 out of 10 times they don't know personal boundaries. They're gonna touch you, and they're probably
Right.
They'll cough
They're
right
gonna-
in your open mouth.
Right, they're gonna run up to you with that blue ring around their mouth from the fucking Jolly Rancher that they fucking.
and then they run away giggling, and you're like, I gotta wash my hands.
Damn
Damn
shit
it.
on me.
Yeah.
What's on your mouth? I don't know. All right.
Every day's an acid trip. Yeah, we know, buddy.
Oh, to be young. Let's go hose them off.
That
That was great.
was
Yeah.
fun.
That's a fun one. I like that one a lot.
So how many people died in the end?
Oof. What did I say?
This was 20 something.
Hundreds injured and 20 something
Like
dead.
119, and then it was 21.
Surprisingly low death count.
I mean,
For the 1914, I would think that's like a quarter of the town.
yeah. And if you told me Molasses had a
I know
death count of 21, I'd still be like, that's 21 more than I thought. I mean, it's still like,
Okay, a 25-foot tall, 35-mile-an-hour wave comes out like the town. Only 21 people dying.
Oh, you're expecting that? You're expecting Boston just to be no more.
yeah. If you're one of those 21 people.
Boston. It was a great idea.
Yeah, there's an alternate reality where Boston doesn't exist anymore. It's just a sticky tar pit where it was so much worse.
It's like the city of Atlantis, but like
Yeah. Have
But
you
a
heard
tar pit,
tale of the legend of Boston?
Take me right now to the sugar fields. Nobody can survive the sugar fields. It's too sticky.
Yeah, killed 21, injured 150.
So let's talk about this new Willy Wonka movie that we're making.
Dude,
'Cause,
the Matrix or Willy Wonka first, man, because
man,
I'm happy
ooh.
with both.
yeah.
The Matrix, the 80s Matrix would be a great idea.
I feel like the 80s Matrix is a little more evergreen, so maybe we should start
Right.
with the
Wonka one.
more topical political Wonka. You know?
Well, because it's
Oh,
evergreen, so
I
we
see.
can hold on to it. For
I
a
see what you
little
mean. I
bit.
see what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah.
I just, I want to play Oompa Loompa Trump so bad.
Oh, you got that role, baby.
Oh yeah, no, you are
That's your role.
an in. You don't even have to audition.
I mean, for real though.
Troompa Loompa,
Honestly,
Troompa
amazed that this hasn't happened yet.
Doompa
Because
Troompa.
Oompa Loompas are orange. Grandpa Joe,
Yeah.
Right.
Sleepy Joe, he
That's the
laid
thing,
in
it's like,
bed.
I want both. I want to
Come
play
on.
both so bad.
It's
It can be like a
perfect.
Mike Myers movie.
I
You can play both.
Yeah.
I can't decide whether between Joe or
Yeah, do you want to Mike Myers it? Just
Dude,
tell
you got,
everybody.
you got
Sure.
both, man.
Sure.
I'll let you play as many people as you want.
Fine. I'll do it.
You can be Wonka. You can be Oompa
I'm not
Loompas. You can be Grandpa Joe, and then we'll just have one the kid. What the hell's the
Charlie.
Charlie?
Thank you, Charlie. Jesus. We'll just have Charlie, and then you
Oh, you could be
playing
Charlie.
all the other characters.
You
Yeah, I
should
could be
play
I
Charlie.
think
Sure,
you could be
sure,
a great
sure.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Oompa Loompa doopity dup. Let's go find Hillary Clinton and lock her right up.
I was so hoping you were going to get the rhyme. Very good.
This is a good idea. Regardless of anything else, we got this good idea.
Doopity Trump. All of his rhymes are Trump.
Seriously, how's no one done this?
know,
It's so
perfect.
good.
It's perfect.
It fits perfectly.
Sleepy Grandpa Joe and an orange person. Come on, like,
Trademark.
Right. I mean, Bill Clinton is Willy Wonka too. That's fun.
Hey there, baby. Come on over here. You know everything's edible in here, right?
Even I'm edible.
Even I'm edible.
Just putting that on the table.
the
I'm just letting
trees,
you know.
the trees, the river, my underwear. Oh no, you're turning violet, Violet.
I might have to squeeze you.
You're choking me.
Yeah, I got an everlasting gobstopper in my drawers.
It gives you oral asphyxiation. Oh. Ugh, creepy Billy Wonka.
Billy Wonka. dude.
It's coming together so nicely.
Coming to a theater near you.
A very confusing movie brought to you by Murder Squad.
Are we total morons or geniuses? I'm really having a hard time.
We're really riding that.
We're walking that fine line, baby.
We're fucking playing tightrope with that line.
Holding on to our pinkies. By our pinkies, I mean.
Oh my god.
I think if we do it right, that could be an Oscar.
Honestly.
Like if we're just
They
like
almost
right
never
on
give
the
out Oscars to comedies, but maybe.
but right on the money. If
We could be
just,
the first.
We could reopen the parody,
Dude, we could do a
Parody
scary
genre.
movie type thing.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
They don't have them anymore.
we don't have parodies anymore.
Fuck, this is a good idea.
we should sell it.
Yeah,
out.
we should probably cut this and just save it for ourselves.
Yeah, we don't need to have this out in the ether. Again, trademark, copyright, Murder Schmurder Industries.
We call dibs.
Yeah,
Legally
seriously.
speaking, we call
Hard
dibs.
dibs.
Legal
Hard
dibs.
dibs.
Legal dibs.
Yeah,
Well, on that note, anybody? Anything else?
that was great.
Ah, that was
That was
fantastic.
a fun ride,
Yeah.
top to bottom.
Cool. Great. Well, good job, everybody.
I don't like the look of it.
I'm cutting it there.
let's
That was
get
perfect.
Also, if you want to help support us by any means, feel free to go to our link tree on our socials for to buy our merch.
You know what we got?
We got tons of stuff.
We got T-shirts.
We got mugs. We
hats.
got hats. We got pants.
We got grocery bags.
You want to buy stuff? We've got stuff you can buy.
We
That's
got
right.
fucking we got yoga pants. We got sweats.
We're gonna have a full line
Hoodies?
of Billy Wonka featuring
Oh my god.
Trumpa
yeah.
Loompa.
That's right. We're gonna have sauces. We're gonna have recipes. We're gonna have a Murder Schmurder cookbook.
Oh yeah.
Which molasses cookies
Molasses will play a
will be-
significant. It will be most of the cookbook. Will be ways to use molasses. Admittedly,
We'll just make a chapter of molasses-based desserts
yes, a whole section. Yes,
that Sarah will have to design for us.
Sarah will do a great job.
Boom.
I will make / beg her to do it.
See, I love how you thought we were kidding, dear listener, but we got people.
Because you know what Murder Schmurder does, listener? We commit to the bit.
That's right, and we double down.
So coming soon to a theater near you,
Billy Wonka.
Billy Wonka. And then followed shortly by 80s Matrix.
I like the idea of it being Billy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but chocolates in parentheses.
What if it's Billy Wonka and the Chocolate Starfish?
Brutal.
There goes an Oscar nominee. It's gone now.
Yes! Hello, Razzie.
Fuck that golden statue.
I don't want that shit.
I want the Oscar, bro. That's what I'm shooting for.
We're going big, babies.
All right. Well, until next time.
Till next time.
Okay, bye.
Adios.
Okay, bye.
Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jaime. Our tracking engineer is Grant. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of Murder Schmurder.